YouTube, what's going on? It's your man Jackson Marquis here. Just making a video today. I want to talk about Sarms and prohormones and whether or not it's important whether bodybuilders are natural or not. I just left my morning workout, so I'm eating right now. I got some chicken and rice here, some hard-boiled eggs, and some celery. Rain, out. You ain't about to mess up my video. So, first of all, the first question I want to answer is, does it matter if a bodybuilder is natural or not? Now, me personally, I don't care if a bodybuilder is natural or not. It don't make a big difference to me. They have natural bodybuilding competitions for guys who want to stay natural and for guys who think staying natural is important. I'm not against people who want to stay natural. I'm not against people who want to take steroids. We live in a world where nobody's natural anymore. Mostly. Most people are not natural. People just care about looking good. That's their decision, that's their choice, that's their body. It's not your place to judge them for what they want to do with their body. It's not affecting you in any way. You know? That's why I don't understand guys, nowadays who judge women for what women do to their bodies. Because if there was a magic pill that could change your stuff down there and make it bigger, you would take it without a second thought. So, you can't judge people for wanting to look good or wanting to be at their best. God put us all on this earth to improve ourselves, to make steady progress. Now, how you make that progress is completely up to you. But as long as you're making progress, I really think that's all that matters. Now, my take on prohormones, I'm going to start with prohormones because I've taken prohormones before. I've only taken them one time, so I can only speak on my experience based on that one time. Now, back in 2017, 3 years ago, I was working in a warehouse and I met this guy who was, he was a little muscular. And I was a little bit smaller than I was at the time. I wasn't into the gym like that. At that time, I've been in the gym and working out my whole life. But at this particular time in my life, I hadn't been in the gym ever in my life. The only gyms I had been to is in prison and in juvie. I had never been to a gym, never had a gym membership, because most of my workouts were calisthenics. I always worked out at home, or I worked out in jail, or that was how I worked out. I had never had a gym membership before 2017. At one point I was living with my dad when I was 24, and the building he was living in had a gym in it. And that was probably the closest thing I had to being in an actual gym. So I met this guy, and he was solid. He had a little muscle on him, you know? And I was like, man, how you get like that, man? You be in the gym, you be working out? Because I need to get back on my workout stuff. I hadn't worked out in probably a year and a half or 2 years at that time. I met my wife in 2013. I met Samara. And when I first met Samara, she was in the gym 3 or 4 days a week. And then she stopped going because I asked her to stop going because she was so busy. We never got a chance to spend time together. So I asked her to cut something out of her schedule. So she cut the gym out because she was doing the gym like 3 hours a day. And so afterwards, you know, we started getting like a little out of shape. And so then we got on, you know, our thing together, our fitness thing. And I would take her out for runs and jumping jacks and all my calisthenic stuff and cardio. And she wasn't really with it. She wasn't really with the intense cardio stuff and all of that. So after about a month and a half, 2 months of doing that, we just stopped altogether. But this guy, a couple years later, I met him. We were talking about fitness and stuff. And so he told me about a store right up the street from my job. He was like, yeah, you just go in there and you ask them. He said, Prohormones are like a mild steroid. It's basically a legal steroid. You go in there, and he said, don't go in there and ask for Prohormones. Go in there and just say you're looking for something to pack on muscle. Or say you're looking for DMZ. Or whatever. So a couple days later, I went to the store and I got me some DMZ, some super DMZ. I got me a gym membership at Gold's Gym. I got my wife a membership at Gold's Gym. And I started my little fitness journey. After about a month taking DMZ, I was taking DMZ for, I think a total of 3 months. After about the first month, I started seeing results, like crazy results, crazy gains in strength. And so other people at my job started questioning me about it. So one of my coworkers, he wanted to come to the gym with me. So I bought him a gym membership. Oh, excuse me. I got him a gym membership. I bought some more DMZ, and I put him onto the DMZ. Now, we was in the gym for like 2 months straight, going hard. I mean hard. Like the first, we would leave work after working 10 or 12 hours, and we would head straight to the gym. We'd go to the gym, and we'd start off doing cardio. I'd start them off, we'd run 2 miles. Now, mind you, at this time, I had put on around 8 to 10 pounds of muscle just within a matter of weeks. Like 5 weeks, I had put on about 8 to 10 pounds of muscle. And so we run a couple miles, and then we spent an hour and a half to 2 hours in the gym before I took him home. And then I would drive half hour back home. So I would drive a half hour to take him home, half hour back home. I would go to sleep for a few hours, and then I'd get up around 4 or 5 o'clock, and then I'd get ready for work again. I had my shift was from like 6:30 to 6:30. And so we were getting some crazy gains. I mean, we was putting up crazy weight in the gym. I think at one point I broke my personal record on bench press. I put up like 315 a couple times. And that was the most weight I had ever put up in the gym. Because I was mostly a calisthenic guy. I wasn't a weight guy. And So the DMZ went like this. You could take 1 to 3 pills a day. So I started off with 1. When I started seeing gains, I saw gains. I saw the increase in libido. And the increase in libido was like, I was sold on that. So I would take it all the time, you know. Like right before me and my wife got into it or had a session, I would take a pill. I was just in love with this stuff. I had never experienced anything like it before. And so after about 2 months, putting on crazy gains, I upped the dosage from 1 to 2 pills a day to 3 pills a day. Now, what I didn't know is that you were supposed to space the pills out. I was taking 3 at a time. In the morning, I take 3 at a time. I was taking about 15 to 18 different vitamins. I was taking every vitamin I could find in Walmart. I was taking, from iron to zinc to maca root to, I was taking every freaking thing you could think of. I thought I was doing everything right. And then I started noticing a slight pain in my knees. I started noticing a drop in my energy. After about 3 months, a drop in my energy. I didn't want to go to the gym as much. My knees were hurting really bad, like my joints. And I figured it was because I put on a lot of weight. I had put on about 20 pounds at this point. Like I was swollen. I had put on about 20 pounds of muscle. It's quick. And so I thought it was from the cardio, because we do a lot of running and we do jumping jacks. I do cardio before my workouts. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna cut out the cardio because all this extra weight on my bones, my body's not used to it. It came on too fast. So maybe all of the jumping and slamming down on my joints was, you know, wear and tear on my joints. Plus I had a warehouse job where we picked heavy boxes all day. So, you know, jumping on and off the pallet jacks, the electric pallet jacks, I was just like, I'm too heavy. So I tried to slow it down a little bit. The pain would not go away, no matter what I did. So after a couple weeks, I cut out the gym completely stopped going to the gym. The pain was still there. It was getting worse every day. So I took liver support. I took joint support. I was trying to do everything I could to freaking take this pain away. And it got to the point where the pain got so bad I could barely work through the pain. So I hit this guy up at work who knew a guy who had Percocets. And so I asked him if I could buy a few. He sold me some Percocets. Percocets completely knocked the pain out. Knocked them out. I was taking 5 milligrams Percocets. Completely knocked the pain out. And I'm like, oh, okay, I could deal with this, you know? Little to my, unbeknownst to me at the time, I didn't know that Percocets actually make your whole body hurt when you come down off of them, when you go through withdrawal. So I went from knee pain, joint pain, to my whole body being sore every single day. And so I had to up my dosage on my Percocet. It came to the point where I went from taking 5 milligrams, I was taking 1 per night, to 10 milligrams. And then I just, after a couple of months, they weren't working anymore. I was spending about $200 a week on 10 milligram pills. I would buy 20 a week. Because I knew if I went to the doctor, which I did go to the doctor a couple times, they prescribed me naproxen, and they gave me some Tylenol, which was not effective ibuprofen, which was not effective at all with the, you know, inflammation in my knees and stuff like that. So the doctors, I had a doctor tell me one time when I was younger that they try not to prescribe controlled substances to African Americans because we have the addictive personality trait. we're more susceptible to getting addicted. As if there aren't white people who are addicted to fucking drugs. But that's what the doctor told me personally when I was younger, because I used to take Percocets when I was younger because I got shot in my stomach, and that's where this giant scar comes from. If you look at my pictures on my Instagram, that's where the giant scar comes from. I got shot in my stomach. I was taking Percocets for 2.5 years. And so it was like they weren't trying to, you know, I didn't know if they didn't believe me or not, or if they were just trying to try different things before they, you know, prescribe me some controlled substance or something, you know? Maybe they were looking out for my best interests, or maybe I just didn't have good enough insurance to get fucking real drugs. So, and naproxen, Tylenol didn't work. So I was spending $200 a week on Percocets. After a couple months, a month or two, the 10s were not working. I bumped it straight up to 30s. And it was getting so bad to the point where I was taking 5 or 6 30-milligram pills every day. And I was lying to my wife and telling her I was only taking 1. And so I would go and buy 20 10-milligram pills. Now, mind you, these pills were $10 each. And then the 30-milligram pills were $30 each. I was buying 10 30 milligrams, and I was buying 20 10 milligrams. Spending $300 a week on fucking Percocets. The good thing is that I was making a lot of money. I was making anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500 every week. So I could actually afford it. After 10 months of taking these pills, the pain was just unbearable. I mean, it was unbearable. The pills were not working. I had to take more and more. I was throwing up at work. And I told my wife, I said, listen, I'm quitting this job because I'm in extreme amounts of pain. I couldn't even climb the stairs. I tell you, I couldn't climb the stairs. I was like an old man. I couldn't climb the stairs. I could barely get in and out of my car. Like I was damn near crippled. And so I said, I'm quitting this job. If I have to take drugs to do my job, then that's a job I don't need. Mind you, I'm working anywhere between 10 to 15 hours a day. I'm working anywhere between 60 to 83 hours a week. That was a regular thing for me. We went through this big thing because I had quit my job. Almost went through a divorce and everything. I lost everything I had, everything I owned, everything. All of this shit started from me wanting to take the fast route and building muscle and looking good and all of this shit. Not to mention, I was working overnight. So a lot of things people understand about overnights is it fucks your body up as a human. It fucks up your sleep cycles. And from there, from your sleep cycles being messed up, it fucks up your eating cycles. I was drinking Monsters every day. I was drinking 2-3 Monsters, sometimes up to 5 and 6 Monsters, energy drinks every single day. My wife would cook me lunch. I would get to work. I would not even eat the lunch. I would go get food out the fucking vending machine, or I just wouldn't eat at all. My diet was poor. My sleep schedule was poor. I was drinking energy drinks. I'm fucking taking pills. Everything was just wrong about how I went about, going on this DMZ cycle. Because I knew nothing about it. I just knew I wanted to put on muscle and, But I learned a valuable lesson. After everything, after I quit the job or whatever, there came a time where I didn't have any money. So my last check from my job, it was about $600. I remember specifically, it was about $605. I took that $605 because I'm like, well, I don't know where I'm going to get any more money from for the next couple months. So let me use this $605 to buy food for my household. There were 4 of us in the house, 5 of me, my wife, my 2 oldest daughters, and my daughter Rain, who's 3 years old right now. My youngest daughter wasn't born at the time, but my wife was pregnant with her. So there's 5 of us in the house at the time. And my wife wasn't working because I had asked her to quit her job because I was taking care of all the bills, and she was pregnant. So I took that $605 and I bought enough food to last us for a couple of months. Now, I said, well, the only way this food is going to last is if I cut down on how much I'm eating. So it came to the point where I was only eating once every day and a half to once every 2 days. I just would not eat. I would just go on water fast and stuff like that. After 2 months, my knees were completely healed. I was so happy. I was running around, jumping all over the freaking place. And I was like, I came down the stairs one day. I was like, babe, I told my wife, like, babe, my knees feel better. And I was like squatting and doing all this crazy stuff. I'm like, my knees feel better. I'm like, I think it was the water fasting. The water fasting really healed my body. It was amazing. And, I felt real good about that. Long story short, I don't want to make this too long. Because I'm going to do a part 2 to this video. So this part of the video is going to be about Prohormones. So that was my experience with Prohormones. There was a lot of stuff that happened afterwards, but those were the main things that happened. When I did my research later, I found out that the knee problem came from estrogen, high levels of estrogen. Not only that, but the DMZ puts on dry, hard muscle, so it dries you out, it dries your joints out. And when I'm in the gym, I sweat a lot. And I don't drink as much water as I'm losing. It dehydrated me, and that's where the joint pain came from. So with that said, I do not recommend Prohormones. I do not recommend DMZ, Super DMZ, or any of that freaking crap. It is probably the most dangerous thing you could take for your body. It's not worth it. It's not worth the gains. The gains are like minimal compared to the fucking pain you're gonna go through. That is my only experience with that. I didn't touch any. Ever since then, I haven't touched anything. Nothing. So I just I cut out the gym altogether, and then about 18 months ago, I started back in the gym again. It's been about not 18 months. Hasn't been 18 months. It's been about 14 months since I've been back in the gym, like heavy. So, and I just would wake up and I would go to the gym 4 or 5 hours, and that was it. I wouldn't even eat after the gym. I would just go to the gym 4 or 5 hours because I just enjoyed going to the gym. I wasn't really concerned with putting on crazy amounts of muscle and all of that stuff. I just wanted to work out. So that's part 1 of Prohormones, Sarms, and whether or not it's okay. Does it matter if bodybuilders are natural? So this is part 1. I'm about to make part 2, and I'm going to upload it right after I upload this video. So make sure you check out the other video. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share. Okay? So I don't know exactly what I'm going to name this video, but maybe Prohormones, Sarms, and natural bodybuilding. So I'll see you in the next video. I'll be right back.